I'm going to make this episode about upgrading my weapon. As you can see here, I have a dwarf head. I killed Trumpy Iron Toe in South Qeynos, and now I'm tasked with taking his head to Butcherblock Mountains. So it's going to be a long trip, and it's going to go through Freeport. So as I go through Freeport, I'm going to take that opportunity to look for upgrade pieces on vendors as well. So let's get started on that trip. It's going to be very long. There won't be as much talking in this video. It's going to be more about traveling. So this is going to be the complete journey from Qeynos to Butcherblock, at least the way I take it. Start out getting myself a weapon before I start. And Trumpy Iron Toes, I think is level 5. I've seen conflicting reports, level 5 or level 10. I waited till he went to the docks, I rooted him, and then I dotted him. It's just out noon in the game, so that should give us the ability to get to... Unfortunately, it'll be dark by the time we get to Kithkor, I feel. But we can get through the Karanas before it gets dark in the game. Once I complete the journey, I can gate all the way back. West Karanas is the largest zone in the game, so I've heard. On a Saturday night in 2023, there's 10 players, including myself. Most of them are on the level teens, so if we swing by the bandit camp, I suspect there'll be a lot of people there camping. If you start in Freeport or West Commons, people come here for the bandit sashes. I would say they're similar to Crush Bone belts, Death Fist belts, or Null Fangs. I'm going to see how quickly I can make this journey. That means I'll go through Kithkor Forest in the dark. We'll have to hug the wall to avoid undeads. But I've done it many times without issues. This guy is fighting bandits. There's the bandit farm. There's several bandit camps in this zone. It's a good place to hunt starting around level 12 if you're in a group. If you're soloing, you want to be around level 13 or 14, depending on how well you're geared. On the top of that mountain there is the best bandit camp. On the other side of the mountain, there's another small bandit camp. Altogether, there's probably 4 solid bandit camps in this area. There's not much spawn here to fight. If we went straight that direction, there's farmland where you can fight scarecrows. Around level 15 to 17, I think. Maybe 15 to 16. You have to have a magical weapon to damage them. Going to try to cut through the road a little bit to save time. It's now 2 p.m. in the game. As we get to East Karanas, I'll put on infravision. I have it on now though too. I feel like this zone could have been worked on more if they would have added some kind of dungeon that's slightly better than Blackburrow, but I guess in a way it's good because it keeps players in Blackburrow. Allows people to find groups easier. There's always 2 bandits on the road here. It's like somebody killed them. But they're like highway robbery bandits. Right there where that bear is. Sometimes you'll find bandits strolling down the hillside. You could make this trip much quicker if you were on a bard. High-level bard with good drums. There's some ogres up that way. I've never fought them before. There's bandits up the mountainside. You'll see them fighting a bear. So with Spirit of Wolf on, I feel it takes about 6 to 6.5 minutes to run through this complete zone. What am I saying? It actually takes about 8 minutes. Now enter North Karana. It's 3 p.m. game time. Visibility will start to decrease soon. Sun usually sets about 5 p.m. Find a vendor in there. There's another vendor in this house right ahead. Lots of roaming mobs here. Some aggressive. The levels vary a lot, so you have to be careful if you're low level in the teens. Good place for fighting will-o-wisp. Have to be careful for griffins. Guard tower up that hill. Guards are often farmed. Gypsy camp here. Not a safe place to buy and sell. Things can wander right through the camp. Happens all the time. The wolves, bears, lions, griffins are all aggressive. Unless you're a druid or ranger, then the animals won't attack you. Popular zone because of the druid ring. $11 players here, many high-level players because of the druid rings. It's much shorter distance to run through this zone. We'll be able to see the bridge in a few seconds. You wonder how big of a creature it took to hammer in the stakes of this bridge. Massive. Fortunately, the music will change when we zone. Really nice music. East Karanas. This is another long zone because the corridor you have to take. The canyon part of this zone is a long stretch. This is the best zone for getting spider silk, if you ask me. Crag spiders, you can start fighting about level 18 to 19 at the minimum. Once you're in your low 20s, you can farm silk here good. If you get here whenever there's less people. A lot of people come here. Con's yellow to me at level 17. Some con red. Carry on spiders as well. They're not aggressive despite saying they're ready to attack. Game time 5 p.m. If you're not a class that can cast Spirit of Wolf, you typically start to regret it when you're making this run here. These guard posts have highwaymen and bandits inside of them. If you stick to the road, they won't aggro you. Odd seeing trees up here. Here's the large arch. Approaching the zone line, the Highpass hold now. Game time is 6 p.m. It means Kithakor Forest will be a very dangerous zone to travel through. We're approaching Highpass hold. Here's the zone line. Going to try to bypass these knolls here. Make it through. If you stay to the left, continue to stay to the left, you'll make it. There's a guard. Keep staying to the left and you'll see Highpass. There it is. This is a good midway point. You can stop here, vendor if you're a good race. I'll be right back. I have to get these guys out of the way. So try your best to avoid these bandits up ahead. You go that way. Don't go too far ahead. This guy won't, he's not aggressive, and you just come over here. And then we're about to go to the orc side. I'm going to attempt to run right through and zone out. You have to be quick. We made it. Here's Kithakor Woods. In the daytime, it's a easy zone. At nighttime, like now, it's very dangerous. So you have to stay up on the side of this mountain. Hug it as high up as you can. Sorry about all the planes flying overhead. Keep an eye out even if you're on the edge of the map. If we die, it'll be a long trip back without gear. There is a risen corporal, all aggressive, very strong. Try to avoid him. This here will take you to Rivervale and Misty Thicket. If I stay on the left and keep hugging the wall all the way around, after you pass the zone for Rivervale and Misty Thicket, you'll come upon the West Commons. Things get much safer. See how close they'll get to the edge? Easier way to make this journey is to stand at the Druid Rings and ask for a port. You can get a port, and it'll save you a lot of time. There's a zone line to West Commons. If you manage to make it this far, I would advise to ask for a bind in this zone or East Commons. I'm going to pause the recording here and kill a few things. Continuing on the journey. It's easy to travel through West Commons. All you have to do is travel east. One thing of note for this zone is there is a dungeon called Befallen. And it's tucked away along these mountains here. So if you want to find it, you just have to be close to the base of the hill and you'll be able to find it. I prefer to stick to the roads. You should be able to see Befallen soon. See where it's lit up here? There's entrance to Befallen. See a ghoul here. Continuing to run east. You might prefer to stay on the road. There's a werewolf. And ghouls. I'll make my way towards the road now. Complete the journey on the road. Now in East Commons, you want to continue traveling east. You know you're going the right way. Still making our way eastwards towards Freeport. Going to stop and look in these vendors for a second. There's the East Common tunnels. Where are they? Coming up. The major trading hub. Game time is now 8 a.m. We've been traveling. Travel time has been about 31 minutes so far. to get from Qeynos to Freeport. We arrived just in time to make the ship. It was a close call. Perfect timing, I must say. I'll take my seat at the helm. Enjoy the music. Now an ocean of tears. This ship is a long trip. I'm very glad I didn't miss the ship. I'd have to wait for it to make the round trip to come get me again. Sister of Erelisi. You can see her in the distance. They appear to be apprehensive to me, as long as they don't kill me. See if I can give this guy Spirit of Wolf. I don't know if he's going to stop for me. Oh well. Spell was interrupted. Apprehensive. We can work with that. Going to first swing by Kaladin. By the way, this is Butcherblock Mountains. I might have mentioned that before. Would like to Increase my faction with the dwarfs. They only look at me apprehensive. Here is the hut where we have to turn in the Stumpy's head. So it turns out that I must have amiable faction before I can get the hammer. So I'm going to be here for a while fighting goblins and orcs. But this will be the location. The guy's name is Nigel. So I can't turn in the head until I finish this quest. I'm going to end this episode here. This is the end location. On the next episode, I'll be completing the quest and getting my hammer. Thanks for watching. It was a long foot journey from Qeynos all the way to Butcherblock Mountains.